Welcome to Million Mile Oracle. I appreciate you for sharing this safe space with me. If you are new here, I'm Tamara and I channel intuitive guidance to help you navigate life with clarity and intention. If you are a returning oracle, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a sacred geometry reading and channeling messages. We're going to use this tree of life symbol today. So just sit back, relax, connect to this energy, and be open to receiving. And I will get started. The first message that kind of came through was that song "No Rush." Doom doom, doom 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 doom. I don't know the rest of the words, but no rush. I also had channeled a message for the week ahead prior to this reading, and it was all about the closing of a cycle. That was a soul lesson in dealing with energy outside of yourself that is aggressive, could be combative, controlling, demanding of your time, your energy, but not reciprocal. Confirmation on that energy. You could have just kind of the message was that you're at the end of closing out this cycle, and that these lessons dealing with these energies that were controlling, demanding, not reciprocating was to help you to have a better understanding of your own self-worth, guide you towards inner child healing and empowerment. And as you complete this cycle, you will not have to repeat these same interactions with people because you have developed boundaries that protect your energy. Dealing with this type of energy could have caused you a loss of material wealth. Your finances could have suffered. This relationship could be a business relationship or a romantic relationship if you've gone through a divorce and the assets had to be split. That resulted in a loss of your material wealth that you had, or that could have took you off course. It also could have been a job loss or dealing with a job that just had what's the word? I want to say unscrupulous, but like business dealings that were shady, shady business practices. They could be like con people out of their money. They could have tried to change the terms of the agreement that was negotiated after you started working. They could have stolen money from you. They could have tried to require you to work more for less or not, or expected you to perform a lot of work for no compensation. That could have resulted in financial hardships. And this cycle is coming to a close. You could have found yourself just kind of like rebuilding the foundation. I'm actually in the root system now of the tree. And so these roots, they grow deep into the ground to stabilize the growth of the tree. And that could be where you're at now as far as setting up a secure foundation or a structure that supports you without you needing to depend on support from others. It could also look like you living off of the land, developing systems in which you are self-sustaining. Entrepreneurship could be a path that you're pursuing now? This could have been the path that you were meant to pursue all along, but you had to go through some of these lessons in order to prepare yourself for this path. So even though the lessons may have been harsh at times, it was all in efforts to help your soul to grow into, I'm hearing like a person who's able to carry the the mighty calling that you are here to achieve. One of my kids is downstairs playing on a walkie-talkie and they're like screaming. So you could have felt like there's like this path that's like screaming at you to come towards it, and you're answering the call. It could have been a path that has been waiting for you to acknowledge it for a long time, but there could have been a lot of barriers to you stepping into that role, whether it was self-imposed like fear or other people and projecting their own fears, limitations. I'm getting a lot of like, you could have been surrounded by people who are not at the same, not at the same energetic level as you. And because of that, they have a hard time perceiving your reality. One, because it's not a reality that they could ever fathom for themselves. And so if you are taking advice from people who are not living in the reality that you would want to live in, you're immediately going to be kind of thrown off course. I had this up here. There's like, you're taken off path if you are looking for validation or advice from people who aren't going where you are going. And this is like a delicate situation. I even feel like I don't want to offend with my words, but it's just an energy. It's just an energy thing. It's like a parent talking to their child about where they want to take their career, and the child just does not have the mental capacity to understand and navigate that conversation. So imagine that with an adult who, just because they just don't have the faculties, the lived experience to understand what you have been navigating, they can't provide the advice or even relate to the challenges of the soul lessons that you have navigated, because they don't have the framework to understand it. They haven't had the lived experience to be able to wrap their head around what that soul lesson looked like for you, how you experienced it, how you navigated the challenges of it, to even be able to sympathize with it. And I'm getting into this. I feel like this is a very touchy subject, because even trying to explain to someone that they're not on your energetic level is like, somebody probably would take offense to that. So this is just for you to know that the reason why it's been so hard for you to find resources or navigate some of these situations from a 3D perspective is because you're meant to connect to source. This is meant to connect you to source and not deeper into the 3D. It's to elevate your consciousness. Yeah. And you could also have like a reality shift as you have navigated this soul lesson. It's like you were given a glimpse of what happens when you connect to source versus not connect to source. You can see the stark difference, how things shift. Almost like your life screams at you like, hey, you were way off course, get back on track, reel it back in. And that could have looked like you feeling like you've made like a lot of wrong decisions, but no decisions are really wrong decisions. It's all just information. And that could also be part of the journey of not judging yourself for the decisions that you made. You made those decisions with the information that you had at the time. And compassion could be part of that journey, having compassion for yourself. I'm noticing some leaves falling. It almost seems like there's some leaves falling away. So like as the seasons change from summer to fall, you have like this shedding of what is no longer necessary. So another part of that reading was emotional baggage and carrying that emotional baggage and releasing it in a gentle way. Almost like how the leaves will fall off the tree as we transition from one season to the next. It's a natural progression as you elevate from one energetic level to the next level. Things will naturally fall away, and this process doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be challenging. If you just let it flow naturally, if you let these things fall away that don't serve you anymore, you will experience a natural shedding. And no, this could be like relationships, people, places, things you could be called to move like a far distance away from where you're at currently. And there's an understanding that the things that are meant to come with you are there. They're not going away. So you shouldn't have fear of this process. You also have a part of this soul lesson was to allow you to become the focus of your own life as opposed to your energy being sent out and pulled in several different directions, being scattered. The focus is actually bringing back to you, the center. You are the source of your own life. It's actually like integrating and filling in those areas where your power was given away or taken away. I'm almost feeling like you are being strengthened at an energetic level with your core. Your soul is calling back your power, and you could have given your power away unknowingly by, like, one way that this could happen is just asking for advice from people who aren't qualified to give you advice. Just always seeking outside input. this even could be tied along with some lessons of like people pleasing. If you grew up and you were taught that you would be rewarded for being good, for centering other people's emotions and their experiences to make them feel comfortable, to not take up too much space, to not step on other people's toes. It's part of this is pulling all of that energy back down to you, as opposed to extending it out and worrying about what everyone else is doing, feeling, thinking in relation to you, and really just cutting off that energetic connection. And I also see like a weaving of like an enclosure of the energy, your own energy. You could be doing some energetic cleansing. You could be doing chakra cleansing. That could be helping you to understand and manage your own energy. And this is creating an internal system where you are the center of your own energy. Your energy isn't extending outwards in multiple different areas, allowing people to kind of latch on to it and extract your energy from you. It's a closed system. If you see these branches, the branches are kind of touching each other within themselves. And so part of your lesson was to learn how to encapsulate your energy within yourself, become a system that communicates with itself, communicates with the earth, grounds into the earth. Also, a tree, it receives light. Those leaves will turn that light energy into a source of food. So I'm also getting this message that if you imagine like light being source or cosmic energy or higher consciousness, that's a connection to God, that you're receiving this information from the divine, you're transmuting it into a powerful source of kind of like using it to recharge your batteries. But I'm kind of getting it in a scientific way, like photosynthesis through the leaves as a way to generate energy. So your energy is not, it can't be depleted, it can't be destroyed, no matter how people try to attack it, because you're getting this energy directly from source, from God. And then you're transmuting it in ways that are meant to help you, help your growth, help you sustain your life force. Haka? What's that tribal war cry that they do in New Zealand? That's kind of coming through. My son just came up here and it sounded like he was doing a haka. I don't know what he was saying, but it just reminded me of haka. If you are in New Zealand, hello. All right, I'm being guided to go to some oracle now. Woo! Aligned path and presence. Okay. Aligned path and presence. So with aligned path, this is a relationship that is a soul connection. It could be a soul mate, a destined connection, somebody that could be already in your life or could be coming, who is meant to be on this journey with you, someone who you will experience soul lessons and growth with. It's a energetic connection between two people. This is also a path that is protected, it's guided. It's a path that could be calling you to be more present in the present moment. This could also be a past life connection. Someone that you were with in a past life. You could have experiences that feel like you meet someone, but you feel like you've known them forever, or you have like an instant rapport. This could have been someone that you had a relationship with in a past life where it was a close, intimate connection, like a family member. Just from an energy standpoint, if in a past life you had like a mother-daughter connection or father, grandfather, grandchild connection, you could be coming back as two energies playing out a different role in this lifetime, like husband and wife, or a sister, two sisters, or two brothers, or best friends. And I'm also seeing a lot of depictions of like a tree. The tree symbol that we had seen earlier is very much in this image as well. And also those tree branches connecting, just kind of like how they're overlapping in this image, is kind of the same symbolism I'm seeing here. And even in this image, where it looks like it's the cosmos, it also looks like there's kind of a tree in this symbol. So this is kind of representing the stable foundation that you're building. You could be building this with another person. I'm going to get some information from the Wild Muse Oracle, and then we'll read the messages from these cards. Okay. We have hope is on the horizon, your tribe, your vibe. These are actually the two cards that came out in the other message that I channeled earlier today about that soul lesson leading you on a path through self-worth to empowerment. And at the end of that, you're finding your tribe. It's an aligned path, just like the first card that had came out in that previous read was soul path. You're on an aligned path to meet your tribe, or someone who's going to have a significant presence in your life. In order, or so if this is someone that's already in your life, you met them because you are authentic, or this is a call for you to be authentic so that you can align with the appropriate person and to not lose hope. There's also in this card, she's holding a light, kind of like knowledge, information coming down, these little comets that are shooting down around her. Her path is like illuminated. The messages that she's receiving are all around her. And she's holding the light. All right, I want to read the book for Be Authentic. Have you noticed that you have different versions of yourself which depend on the situation you're in? You are one way with your boss, another way with your parents. Your friends know you well, but not as well as your best friend. And when you're all alone, that's when you can dance, sing, and sing without constraint. Having different sides to your personality does not render you inauthentic, but depending on how vast the discrepancies between the different versions of you are, they can make it more difficult. Think about your core values in life and stick by those throughout your connections and relationships. It can be challenging to be authentic when you are afraid you will be judged for who you genuinely are. But keep in mind that you are not alone. Nobody wants to face ridicule or rejection. However, anxiety and fear of being criticized and judged are often blown way out of proportion. And when we give those emotions unlimited power, we can end up wasting our lives worrying so much about what others might or might not think of us that we never live our lives to the fullest extent. Now is the time for you to stop caring, but in a good way. Be smart when it comes to what you spend time worrying about. Worrying about whether other people will stare at your outfit you've always wanted to wear, that's not worth it. What about your fear of people not liking your definition of what a successful career looks like? The universe says, who cares? How about your stance on gender equality, animal cruelty, or violence? Now, those are some things worth worrying about and staying true to, don't you agree? Don't hide your opinions and beliefs to keep other people comfortable while you end up feeling fake and repressed in the expression of who you are. After all, the worst that can happen is that someone disagrees with you or decides to end the relationship. But if someone doesn't respect or care about you enough to let you be who you are, is it worth having them in your life anyway? Yeah, that kind of goes back to what I was saying about the leaves falling away. It's those people who weren't meant to be there to begin with, um, that will be falling away, and you don't have to be afraid of that process naturally happening as you ascend. I'm going to read Aligned Path. You are not walking alone. There are connections in this lifetime that are not accidents. They are intersections written into the architecture of your becoming. This card appears when alignment is present, even if the outcome is still unfolding. Destined Path is not about dependency, it's about resonance. It's about walking forward beside someone whose frequency harmonizes with yours. This may represent a romantic partnership entering divine timing, a collaborator whose vision mirrors yours, a friendship that feels familiar beyond explanation, the deepest truth that you and your highest self are fully aligned. You do not need to force what is meant for you. When paths are destined to meet, they converge naturally. Walk, trust, and continue forward. And chakra healing affirmation for aligned path is, I open my heart to partnerships rooted in mutual respect and divine timing. That's like that root system with the tree that we talked about. And for presence, all you truly have is now. This moment, this breath, this heartbeat. Presence is not about perfection, it's about paying attention. When your mind wanders to the past or races to the future, this card calls you back to the sacred moment of now. There is beauty here, there is peace here, and this is where life begins again. A chakra healing affirmation for presence is, I open my heart to what is real and true. That was the message that wanted to come through. Thank you for joining me at Million Mile Oracle. Feel free to drop a comment below. Let me know how this message resonated with you. It helps me to connect deeper into the energy. If you want, you can share this message with someone you think it might resonate with. I'll see you in the next message.